Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Tiffany and this is Small Town 6. Today I have a little bit of a different video to bring you. Today it's going to be a cookbook collaboration. A friend of mine that has welcomed me into this whole YouTube community and Instagram community. Her channel will be linked below. It's called Southern Wife, Everyday Life. Her name is Tamra, and she is the sweetest person. She has put together this cookbook collaboration with a big group of ladies that have awesome channels out there. So please go and check them out below. It'll be in the playlist, and you guys need to check all those channels out because these women are great and their videos are great. We are bringing back the cookbooks because a lot of people go to Pinterest, YouTube, or just online to find recipes, and while that's great, please continue to look at YouTube for recipes because it helps all of us out. We are going to bring back our cookbooks off the shelf, which honestly I still use a lot of my cookbooks. This is the one I'm using today. I will link it below. I found this a long time ago when I was at the library and just skimmed through it and took it home and checked one out, and then I ordered it the same day because I thought it had a lot of really awesome recipes in it that a lot of people would actually eat. It wasn't just all full of vegetables, which I love, but my kids will not just sit and eat plain vegetables. So this book is called Skinny Suppers. It's by Brooke Griffin, and I will link it below. What I'm gonna make today is a casserole. It's something I actually make all the time. It tastes really, really good. It's called Cowgirl Casserole. You can see that on the screen. I will link the recipe below also. But it's a casserole with minimal ingredients. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna need today is a ½ pound of ground beef, but I'm gonna use ground turkey because I have it on hand already and I like the taste of it better, honestly. I'm gonna use 1 small onion. I've already chopped it up, diced it, because like I've told you before, I don't like sharing when I chop things. My eyes make my mascara go all over my face and my eyes water, and it's just a mess. The next thing we're gonna need is 1 red bell pepper, diced up. You can get it pre-sliced in a bag from the store, or you can in the freezer section, or you can cut your own. I've already cut that. Then we're gonna need 1 8-ounce container of mushrooms. I'm just using the canned. These are both 4 ounces, 2 little jars from Aldi's. 1 pinto beans, but I'm gonna sub that out like I always do because Aldi's doesn't seem to carry pinto at our store, so I'm going to use the Great Northern beans because it's the same thing in the meal. 1 can of black beans and 1 can of dark red kidney beans. Gonna need 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Gonna need a ½ teaspoon of ground cumin. Gonna need 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. You know me and pepper, if you've seen my videos, I will put more than that in. Gonna need a ½ cup of barbecue sauce. I've talked about this before. I get this sugar-free, no sugar added Baby Ray's. Same price as the regular, but takes all the sugar out, so it tastes the same and it saves you. Then I'm also gonna use 2 tablespoons of, the recipe calls for reduced sugar ketchup. I actually have this little baby bottle that Walmart gave me last time of the no sugar added. Use that. And then we're gonna need 1 tablespoon of sugar-free maple flavor syrup or sugar-free syrup. I'm just gonna use what I have on hand. A lot of times I have sugar-free, but I don't today, so I'm gonna sub it out for this Aldi brand light syrup. All of this is going to go into the casserole. There's also going to be a cheesy cornbread topping. So for that, we'll need 2/3 cup of white whole wheat flour. I've already got wheat flour on hand, but you can use regular if you don't have it. It's fine. I'm gonna need a ½ cup of cornmeal. Gonna need 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. It's something we always keep on hand. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. A cup of canned cream style corn. Then we're gonna need 2 egg whites. I keep this on hand because I use it in the morning. It's cheap at Aldi's, so I use egg whites, or you can just take 2 egg whites, take the yolk out. Simple. Then we're also gonna use 1/4 cup of light sour cream. If you haven't seen my other videos, what we keep on hand all the time is the non-fat plain Greek yogurt, because it tastes exactly the same as sour cream, but it's got protein in it. So it just adds a little kick of that to it. Then we're gonna need a half a cup of shredded cheese. I'm just using what I have on hand, the Aldi's. And then once again, another 1.5 tablespoons of sugar-free maple flavor syrup. Or, you know, just use what you have. One thing you'll find about my videos is I will use what I have on hand. Sometimes I will sub things out for something that will taste exactly the same as what the item is requested in the recipe. So just use what you have on hand. Don't rush out to the store to spend extra money on something that you don't have, because a lot of these are pantry staples that I usually have on hand already. That's why I thought I'd share this recipe with you. Plus, it tastes great. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, add your ground beef or ground turkey, whatever meat you choose to use, to the pan. Add your mushrooms. I just leave mine big. You can chop them up. It's optional, whatever your preference is. They blend in with what I'm cooking, so hopefully the kids won't notice because they're not mushroom fans at all. Then you're gonna bring your diced onion, one onion diced up, over to the pan. And your diced red pepper. And you're just gonna let this cook. Let it all come together until it's tender, and until there's no more pink in the meat. At the same time, you're going to preheat your oven to 350, and you'll need a 13x9 casserole dish to put this recipe in. Okay, so once that's done cooking, we're gonna take it and drain it. If you haven't seen this little clippy thing off Amazon, this is a lifesaver. You don't have to switch pans, don't worry about all that. So let's go over here and drain that. Now you're gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just bring it back over. I'm gonna bring a teaspoon of chili powder. Gonna bring 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. I'm gonna bring 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Just mix all that around. Seasonings. I'm going to add the kidney beans to the mix. And then we're going to add our black beans to the mix. Let that cook. Stir it all around. Okay, so now we're going to add these ingredients in a separate bowl. We're going to take that barbecue sauce, take 1/2 cup of it. Okay, I forgot to tell you that we were going to need a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. So instead of that, I don't have any balsamic vinegar. If you have that, you can sub it out if you don't have Worcestershire sauce. But I'm just going to add an extra tablespoon of barbecue sauce to give it a little bit more flavor. We're also going to need another ingredient I forgot to tell you. You don't have to put this in, it just adds a little tang to it. 1/2 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm sure you could use regular if you don't have it. I've used it before. And you're just going to stir it all around. Once you get that all stirred together, we're going to take our 13 by 9 pan and we're going to dump all of that into it. Stir it. Okay, then we're gonna come back over here. There's our mixture. There's our casserole. And around me is all of my dirty dishes we don't need to look at. I'm just gonna spoon that out onto the casserole. It says to drop it by spoonfuls evenly, but if you've seen my videos before, I don't always listen to what the recipe says. Then we're going to take foil, we're going to cover it with aluminum foil, and we're going to bake it in the oven for 30 minutes covered at 350. And then when it's done baking for 30 minutes, we're going to uncover it and bake it for an additional 10 minutes. So it browns on top. Okay, the next thing we're going to make that I always serve with this Cowgirl Casserole is skinny fried apples. We're gonna dice up the apples and then we're gonna cook them with several ingredients on the stove and bake them in the oven. And it's a healthier version than fried apples. I know it sounds weird to go with this casserole, but we serve it every time. It's what's paired with it in the cookbook and it tastes so good. So what we're gonna need for this, I actually make 2 batches of this because there's 6 of us. So you're gonna need, the regular recipe says 4 apples. I'm gonna double it and do 8 apples. I'm gonna peel those and slice them. A half a cup of reduced sugar apple juice. I never have apple juice anymore because my kids are a little bit bigger. So I actually use applesauce in place because we keep that on hand. We need 2 tablespoons of sugar-free maple flavor syrup, which I'm just using the same stuff I use in the casserole. 2 tablespoons of that. A half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. A teaspoon of ground cinnamon. This is going to go in with the apple mixture. And then we're going to make an apple crisp topping that goes on top of it. It'll use 1 tablespoon of white whole wheat flour, or whatever flour you have on hand. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of stevia, or whatever sweetener you've got. 1/4 cup of oats, old-fashioned ones, or if you have the other, just use those. And then 1 tablespoon of cold unsalted butter. I'm gonna add the apples to the pan. I diced up or sliced and peeled 8 apples. Now we're going to take a tablespoon of wheat flour, add it to a separate bowl. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm going to double it so it'll be 4. Then we're going to take 2 tablespoons of stevia. Then we're going to take 1/4 cup of oats and add them to the mix. Then we're going to cut in the butter, a tablespoon, so I'm doing 2. We're going to take the pan and pour the apples into it. Take that topping and sprinkle it all along the top of the pan. Then you're just going to bake that at 350 for 10 minutes. So the next thing that we're going to add into this is another cookbook. It's Magnolia Table. This is a go-to recipe that we use for chocolate chip cookies. It's pretty basic, but it tastes better than the other recipes I've pinned off Pinterest in the past. So I will link the ingredients. It's very minimal down below in the recipe. Okay, first thing we're going to need is 2.5 cups of flour. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda to the mix.
Baking soda. I can carry it myself.
And 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, or salt if that's what you have on hand. Pour that in. Then we're going to add 2 cups of brown sugar.
I will do that.
We're going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. There you go, add that. Then we're going to add in 8 tablespoons of butter, or 1 stick. Add the butter in, melted it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. We're going to add 2 eggs. Chocolate chip cookie recipe, and it will be the best ones you've ever had. Delicious. Okay, that's going to be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll enjoy that casserole and make it, and also those fried apples. And I hope you'll give this video a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Also look for me on Instagram. Our Small Town 6 is on there, so go ahead and link up with us on there also, so you can get updates when we're posting new videos if you're not already on the notifications with YouTube. Also, don't forget to check out the playlist I've linked below with all these other lovely ladies that we're doing this collaboration of cookbooks with. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.